Welcome to Anatomy Park! It's a little business venture I've been cooking up on the side with Dr. Bloom. It's an amusement park inside a human body. Science isn't cheap, Morty. This should really help put a dent in the overhead.
Oh my god! This is insane! Spleen Mountain, Ladder Falls, Pirates of the Pancreas.
You got a problem with that last one, Morty?
Huh? No, I'm just reading them out loud in the order that I'm seeing them.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
I got scared. I dropped my Hot Pocket.
I'm drinking rum.
It's Rum and Nerdy.
I'm drinking rum.
The time has come.
I'm drinking rum.
So grab a glass, some ice, your bottle, 'cause we're about to drink some rum.
Kicking like I usually do, drinking.
I'm drinking rum.
Here's Greg and Garrick.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And today we have episode 5.19.
1981 DeLorean DMC-12.
Also known as the Back to the Future car.
It was the most on-brand universal vehicle I could think of.
Makes sense. Because what are we talking about today, Garrick?
Universal's epic universe? Yeah, there was much rejoicing. Yeah. Woo!
Poor sound effects. We're cutting corners today.
Yeah, we should add some of that in post. Hey, we've only lost power once.
Right? We're in a storm now. We're at now with a storm. Lots of lightning.
Convenient. We needed the rain.
Yeah.
I've officially reached that age where it's thundering and lightning outside. And I'm like, we needed the rain.
Yeah.
I hope it's coming down at my house.
Well, we just wanted to top off the pool because pools are nice in Florida. They're actually, we spent a lot of time in the pool this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah. And we realized we really hadn't all year because, we hadn't.
Cold, I guess.
Yeah. And now it was nice. In fact, last week we talked about the fact that I got a Jeep.
Yeah.
Then I started driving around and realized it didn't have an antenna. And so the radio station was like Doppler. Hey, song. This is a song.
You didn't realize it. I pointed it out to you when I walked up to it. You're like, check out my Jeep. I'm like, that's awesome. Isn't there supposed to be an antenna here?
Yeah. Well, I bought one.
Oh, cool.
And
and just screwed in the little hole.
Yeah, there's a little adapter.
Done.
I got it blue so it matches the car. And then I put the I got those nylon handles.
Mm-hmm.
And I reinstalled my dash cam.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because the dash cam I had was 3 cameras, front, inside the car, and back. So it really covers everything if somebody's going to tomfoolery and try and insurance scam you or cut you off and brake check or whatever. It's all
If
there.
you're trying to do something illegal, don't do it in, on, or around Greg's Jeep.
Correct. So, and all of our fanboy stalkers, whatever. Anyway, the only fanboy stalker I have is my wife.
No drug deals in the Wrangler.
No. But I was putting it in there, and because it's a soft top, the rear camera that you to place the rear camera, it's a bit tricky to find a place to put it.
What, you can't mount that to denim or cloth, whatever the hell it is they make the soft top out of?
I guess in theory you could, but it then all of a sudden it leaks and all this other stuff. But
why does the rear view wobble around a lot?
Yeah, right. When you take it down, why does it just look like inside somebody's jeans? I ended up because the newer roll cages are not just tube, it's all like
It's
stamped
tube
metal
with stuff on it, yeah.
And plastic.
I mean, I'm assuming on the inside it's still just tube.
No,
Really?
no. It's a couple different stamped assemblies that are spot welded together.
Sounds like a really shitty cage.
Well, in theory, it's probably crumple resistant or fails in all the right spots. Anyway, it's got all this plastic cowling stuff screwed onto it.
Yeah.
So I took a few of them off and then fed it all through. And I was pretty impressed with, the wiring job I did on the Gladiator. I did like 1,000 times better. You can't see the wiring anywhere except right when it jumps out to go into the camera or right when it goes into the thing on the window.
Nice.
So everything's like really clean and kind of buttoned up. So I was really happy with it. And where I have it come out on the
Ooh, spooky.
where it comes out on the back, the screw that has that plastic kind of cowling thing that clips onto it.
Yeah.
I used that screw and took the bracket. The Project Binky would be proud of me for modifying a bracket. But I ended up sliding that behind the plastic and then putting the screw back through the hole of the bracket to lock it down. And now, and test it all out. So the plastic roll-up window in the back, it shines through that, but it works really well. It lines up perfectly where it needs to go.
Nice.
And when the top is all the way down,
it just looks better.
It's
cool.
It's high enough that the folded up top sits below it. So it well worked out.
Well, that's amazing.
Anyway, back to the whole pool thing is that when I got done, after spending 3 hours Sunday morning fiddling with things, it was Monday morning.
You went into the pool?
Directly. I'm like, and then stayed there for 2 hours.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty
It
good.
was nice. Did a little drinking. Had some rum, Florida cognac, and Coke.
Well, that sounds lovely.
Not on topic for the day, but that's what I did. What did you do this weekend?
Let's see. Sunday was pool time. Monday was spent some time with the family in the morning, and then just some time working in the afternoon. Saturday.
Nice.
I feel like Saturday I just sort of prepped for Sunday, and that was about it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like you relaxed a little.
I did get some relaxation in there. It was
Nice.
good. I had fun.
We mixed it up here. Anyway, so that was this weekend, and now we're back into the week after holiday week. It's a short week again this week because Friday's Layla graduates high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought that already happened because you've had the little signs outside for the longest time.
Well, she finished like a week and a half ago, but the ceremony is Friday.
Got it.
So that'd be cool.
She go to the same school as Riley? Just
No, she did.
Thinking back to his graduation
She
ceremony.
did not. He graduated up from Mount Dora, and she graduates here
Oh.
in the west side of Orlando. Close by.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, she's having fun. All that stuff. But anyway, we came here to talk about something specific. We're just telling all our friends, both of them, about what we've been doing this last couple of days. But last couple of months, we've been talking about it a lot. We both went separately. We haven't been together yet to do this review.
There's talk about buying tickets and showing up sometime in the not too distant future.
We can try that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
We'll see.
So we've walked through this before. I think we walked through like the park map when they did their big press announcement.
Yeah, I think we did. Do you have that up, or I should pull that up? Zero Prep Podcasting.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, if we're going to talk about it, maybe we should kind of display all of the different
Right.
realms within the universe.
Apparently, Universal Orlando has an interactive map.
Oh, they do, yeah. It's fun because it shows you all the wait times and all that. So this is so you're looking at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Where the fuck is Epic Universe? Like, oh, it's way over here, and it's way down there because their interactive map is accurate.
And you can't. There you go. Okay. That was
Oh, look, we can tell people what the wait times are at the time of recording.
at the time of recording, which is Tuesday night. So, yeah, like I'm trying to figure this is the hotel, right?
Yeah, that's the big hotel. It's back.
And then, let's see, what do we have here? This is Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry.
Do you want to start at the front entrance and work our way around?
No, I don't like logic. Fuck logic.
What?
Who? What are we talking about? Where's the front of the park?
What'd you talk about, Willis?
This is the front of the Celestial Park, right? Okay, so this is where you come in.
Yep. So you enter in Celestial Park. Everything you'd expect from a modern theme park entrance. It's like you've been through TSA PreCheck.
Yeah.
We got the little facial recognition things and like go on in. It's very much like that.
Nice.
At the time I went, it was very, very streamlined.
So guest services, shops, all that stuff. You go in, you have your little beginning of your central lagoon, which instead of like a big lagoon, this is a series of lakes.
Yeah, and this is
massive,
and it's huge, and there's a gorgeous view. So this, I think Universal has been adding hotels to their parks as of late. So when you look at the back of the park, there's just a giant hotel.
Yeah, so you come in and look across the water, and then you see the hotel.
So
what's that hotel?
I feel like I should know the name of it. I feel like we should know the name of it.
Zero Prep Podcast.
I feel like we should have done some modicum of prep.
Yeah, this is Embassy Suites. No, it wasn't that. Celestial Suites.
Celestial Suites.
I don't know. I make this shit up. Sometimes that's right. Usually not. I know when you come in, like the one time we went to the left. We came in and immediately went to the left. I know.
Helios Grand Hotel.
There you go.
At Epic Universe.
This interactive map doesn't have like little buttons that show like what all the things are.
I know. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Helios.
Come in. This is that restaurant, the fish whatever thing.
Mm-hmm. So
Atlantis.
Yeah. So when I went,
oh, lights flickered.
Yeah. The power in your neighborhood is not happy with lightning storms. Where the hell was that? Yeah, everything's just sort of rebooting. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So when I went, it was 2 days before they lifted the photo ban.
Yeah.
Because they had there was like signs everywhere, and they were kicking people out of the park. No photos, no videos, no conference calls. Like if they saw you inappropriately using a cell phone, they were kicking you out. 2 days later, they're like, media day, and everyone's posting selfies and live streaming and shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Damn it. 2 days ago, nothing. So the only photo ops that myself and my coworkers got to do was at each one. They had like photo ops set up at each one of the little realm entrances, and then also when you first walk in, that overlooks that hotel. It is a beautiful shot of, so if when you go with groups and friends and humans, like stand in front of the...
We didn't want to wait in those lines to just take a picture. I went with Riley.
Oh.
And his friends.
Not cool.
Well, they just want to go ride rides.
Well, there you go.
Which makes sense. Anyway, you come in, you go to the left, there's that Atlantis restaurant, and I figured it out. It's not updating because the Wi-Fi went out.
Oh, yeah, that's
flickering
right.
Power,
Yeah.
So... we are recording under duress. So as you go around, you've got, Celestial Park is that kind of the middle area.
Yeah.
A lot of the restaurants and just kind of random things are out there. But you come up, if you go to the left, the first thing you come to is Super Mario Land.
And I really enjoy this one because this is the third Super Mario Land that's opened. We have one in Osaka, we have one at Hollywood, and now one in Orlando.
Yeah.
This is the first complete one.
Yeah,
it has all of the stuff.
So I know, like, Yoshi doesn't exist in Hollywood. I don't think.
No.
Does it exist in Japan?
I don't think it does.
I didn't think so either.
I thought Japan only had Mario Kart, and actually
I thought that was the case too.
And I hear their DK is opening up.
Yeah, because I know. You walk in and you kind of go through the portal up the escalator, or there's the ADA entrance around the side.
Mm-hmm.
You go up the escalator, and when you come in, you're on that upper level looking down, which I appreciated because it helped give some depth and height and everything else to it. So it was really fun. But you're looking out over, it's largely it's based off that. And I'm not a big Mario player, but it's there's a game where they can bounce around on all those platforms and stuff. Mario Country, not Mario Country.
Well, Donkey Kong Country is like a little subland inside the which is.
But I'm thinking of the name of the game that kind of represents.
Yeah, it's
not important.
It's the Super Mario from Super Nintendo. It's the
Yeah, there's a game that has all the castles and all the things. So it largely kind of looks like that. Mushrooms, and they do a great job. The interactivity, you walk around, you can punch blocks, and you can buy a wearable, the little wristband things.
It's one of the most gamified theme park lands in existence, I would go ahead and say.
I know
because it keeps your score, it keeps your friends scored. There's a leaderboard, so there's all sorts of challenges you can do. And
Sure. I know in one of the queue lines, I remember seeing this thing that like you kind of are, the wall is gamified. If you do something, it's almost like you got hit and you shrink down, like in the game where you go into, and the block, the size you hear in the size of the block because it's a media wall changes. Like all of a sudden, in perspective, they're bigger blocks, and then you go around the corner, hit another thing, and eat a mushroom, and it's like do. Yeah, so it's
that's the star. The mushroom makes you bigger, but I don't want to split hairs on a 40-year-old video game, but
it's not an open world adventure game. I don't want to play it.
So
I did start a new game this week, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, stay on target.
And then there's the Yoshi's Adventure.
So Yoshi's. So the big I don't know if we mentioned it. So it's a Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, and is the kind of the big e-ticket right when you walk in.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Adventure, and then Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Which is, and you did not do that, correct?
I did not write it. No.
So
the line was like I don't know, like 110 minutes.
Yeah, that's about what when I did it. That's about what it was. So I waited for that ride. When I was there, they were doing media for the big roller coaster. Was it Celestial Stardust Racers? Yeah, that's it in Celestial Park. So we got time to kill. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for Minecart Madness. I really enjoyed that ride.
Yeah.
It was, I can't tell you the last time I went on a roller coaster and the gags got me.
Really?
So, for those that don't know, this is the roller coaster where you're in a fake ride vehicle that's attached to a stem to the actual ride track. So, they have a fake ride track that it looks like you're riding on, and then sometimes the ride track is broken apart and your fake mine car will jump the broken ride track and does all sorts of crazy things. Well, there was one or two scenes where it legit got me, and I was sitting front row, and it's only like a 4-person little minecart vehicle. Sitting front row in that, a few times I was like, whoa, that was good. And as soon as it happened in my mind, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, they got me.
That's cool.
Yeah. So props. I really enjoyed that one.
I'll probably get around to going over and actually riding some of these in about 2 years.
Yeah, the few people I was with are like, man, it felt a little bumpy. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. It's a minecart. You're jumping. It was. I think it was appropriately bumpy for what you're supposed to be doing.
What was your favorite thing about this land?
My favorite thing about this land, Minecart Madness. So I did Mario Kart in Hollywood. Went through and spent time at it was at the TEA Inspire conference. So we spent time in the land, kind of got the VIP tour through all the interactives, got to do all the stuff. Legitimately, that ride, again, it was the first time in the longest time a gag has gotten me on a ride like that. So
nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice. My favorite thing were the little Pikmin. Hidden Pikmins. Do you know what Pikmin is?
No.
It's a game. It's kind of like the Lemmings game where you're like, hey, you've got all these little tiny things, and they have specialized skills and do different things and solve puzzles. But the Pikmin are like they grow in the ground and they're like different colored flowers, and you pull them and then they pop out and they're like Pikmin, little squeaky voice. Anyway, they all over. They're these little sculpted Pikmin figures and they're all in these little hidden like ledges and stuff. Like in the game, you're these tiny little people in this regular full-size world trying to navigate getting through the garden to this thing or a living room or whatever, and a stack of books. And so it's proportionally, it's the little things hiding on ledges. So it's kind of like the Nintendo Easter egg thing for people who like that game.
And that's a Nintendo game?
Yeah.
Very
One
cool.
of Sandy's favorites.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool.
So I had actually looked in the merch store hoping they sold little Pikmins, and I did not see anything. But I was gonna get that. Anyway,
That's fun.
you leave there, and when you go out, I think this is that barbecue brewery place.
Yeah, we're doing the park map clockwise,
Yes,
the way God intended.
right. There's the Constellation Carousel out in the middle, which is just that generic celestial. Words are hard. Celestial Park stuff, and then there's
Constellation
Astronomica
Carousel
and the Astronomica. I don't remember those rides. I remember the carousel, and I remember the Celestial Park coaster. But anyway, you continue on a couple of restaurants, and then you get to the
Dark
Dark
Universe.
Universe. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was part of Universal's, greater attempt at rebranding all of the classic movie monsters. I think they made that Mummy movie with Tom Cruise a while back, and then it just sort of stopped.
I like that Tom guy, but the Brendan Fraser movies were superior.
The Brendan Fraser movies were yes, I did enjoy the franchise, but what they're trying to do with the classic movie monster reboot, I think it's part of a much bigger play that they have as a company.
And after the not success of a few of them, are they still are pursuing doing that as a movie universe?
I think they have to figure out the right combination, the right temperature to get the Maxwell's magic hammer kind of thing, because this land is a masterclass in theme park design. It is freaking brilliant, and it's interesting because unlike some of the other realms, like when you think of other Universal lands where you have it's Jurassic Park or it's Harry Potter, like there's very strong IP, very specific art direction, very specific things that you're going for. Dark Universe, there's so much that you can just sort of make up. I know who Dracula is. I know who Frankenstein is.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of leeway there for you, and they pulled it off so well.
So officially, while the officially canceled, the Universal Dark Universe project is not entirely dead. Studio is still developing standalone monster movies, and the concept of a shared universe may resurface in different forms, such as the upcoming Universal Orlando theme park, Epic Universe, which will feature a Dark Universe land. Here's a more detailed look. Official cancellations. The Dark Universe planned interconnected series of Universal monster movies was officially canceled due to the poor box office performance of The Mummy in 2017. Standalone monster movies still being produced in individual monster movies such as Renfield and a new Scream directed by Mystery Monster Movie, indicating a continued interest in the franchise. And then other potential.
Yeah. So the big e-ticket in that land is Monsters Unchained.
Yeah.
The Frankenstein experiment, and I was blown away by how good that ride was.
Yeah, it's Riley's favorite
from a story standpoint, from a queue standpoint, and the queue line for that ride. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Donkey Kong, you kind of got to suffer through that queue. That's not a money was not spent in that queue. They knew where they were spending their money, and it was not the Donkey Kong queue. The Monsters Unleashed queue is, again, it's a fucking masterpiece. It is gorgeous, and the way it brings you into the story, the way it reintroduces you to some of those characters and what's going on, it's amazing. And I don't want to spoil the ride at all, but the way they integrate all of the different monsters into that ride, I thought really worked.
Yeah,
and I love the way it turned out. So it's like if they could mimic that, the feeling that you get going through that ride, going through that land, if they could mimic that in a movie franchise, they'd be onto something.
I think the ride conveyance for that is the same as Forbidden Journey,
Yes.
and which I worked on back in the day. And but I have to say, the programming it is leaps and bounds smoother and more involved.
It's smoother. It's more involved, and so Forbidden Journey makes me sick every time I'm on it.
Really,
It's the and it's just the projection. Being thrown around by a kuka arm does not make me sick. It's whenever you go into, because specifically Forbidden Journey, the kuka arm moves you into a video dome, and then it kind of whips you around like you're flying, and then it moves you out of the video dome. That video interaction is what does me in every time.
Well, didn't they do in Hollywood too? I think that when they opened it there, they actually did it in 3D. Yeah,
3D, and then
and it was like 60 frames a second. It was like a high resolution, and it fucked people up.
And then they ripped it all out. They're like, "Wow, this did not fix it."
Yep,
ripped it out. Yeah, so this is far more practical, and the media that you experience is not. It's not. Synced is the wrong word, but it's not like Forbidden Journey where you're synced to a flying dome.
Yeah, you don't dedicate
thing.
into that as part of the ride.
Yeah, the media is happening in your periphery as you kind of swing past it.
Yeah,
and it works so much better.
Well, especially the blend of media and animatronics, and the animated figures in there are pretty badass.
World class. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. And they brought back one of my favorite classic movie monsters of all time.
Wolfman?
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, yeah.
He's in there. It's like, yeah! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gilman, I think his official title is, but...
Well,
I was able to buy some Creature from the Black Lagoon merch for the first time ever. I'm like, I didn't expect this to ever happen, but...
Yeah, right. So, did you check out the Curse of the Werewolf ride?
Rode it.
Yeah?
It was interesting. Obviously,
it's
not
just a generic coaster, or is there anything?
No, it's a rotating coaster.
Really? Like, okay.
So as you're being launched around, you're being whipped around, but the cars spin as you're on the train. The cars are spinning around.
So in the individual cars on the overall train spin.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. So think.
Are they like passive spin, or are they mechanically spin?
50-50. I mean, they definitely correct. They don't force you to spin. And like, it's not like, hey, everybody's going to start spinning around
like
the
one
ground.
of those things where you have a wheel and you can spin.
It's close to it. It's not like the tilting you get on Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's better than what you get at Cobra's Curse at Busch Gardens Tampa. So just to throw two
kind of
analogs in there for you.
Cool. I did go to.
Do you want to bust that out?
Yeah. That's why it's out.
Real quick, rum, Plantation, Stiggins fancy.
That's the
pineapple.
Pineapple, yeah. I did go to the bar there.
I think we're gonna kill this. There's not a lot in here.
No. I did go to the bar there and get a drink. I did not order. I went in there to try and do the burger, or do a sandwich or something to eat, but the burger. I couldn't get past that black bun thing.
I had the black bun thing.
Yeah.
And
did you poop purple later?
Yeah, I did. It was fucking weird, and I had no idea that was like one of the consequences of ordering the hamburger. And I was talking to some people today. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's all over Reddit. Like that's a big deal." I'm like, oh, okay. I thought I was just walking away with the black fingertips. Like you've been reading a lot of newspaper. And I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that from lunch. And then the next day you're like, oh, fuck, do I need to call somebody? Or maybe it was that black hamburger. I'm curious to see how long the black hamburgers last.
Yeah.
Because they're entertaining, to say the least. 1 cube?
Deux cube.
2 cubes. Did you go to the fiery windmill tavern?
I was not. I went to the tavern. That's the bar I went to. I did not. I was not there when it fired up. Which I had that opportunity. We were gonna like sit around and wait, and I'm like, you know what? First time I see that thing fire up, I want to see it at night.
Oh, yeah.
So I intentionally missed it so I could see it at night. That particular night, it closed at 7, so it wasn't going to be.
I'm already making plans for later in the year going and being there at night.
Yeah. Well, moving on for science purposes, we're going to move on. You come out, and when you come out, what's this building? Doesn't denote it. It might just be a restaurant or shop or something.
Yeah, I believe that's retail.
And then, of course, the hotel, and then
which is quite glorious. Yeah. And the nighttime show around that larger fountain in front of the hotel is really cool.
I've seen the video with the drone show, but I don't know if the drone was just for the grand opening or if it was a thing. But
I like to hope it's for more than the grand opening, but
right. After the hotel, you come to theming wise. This is what moved me the most. The Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic. This is the French.
From the
French ministry.
From the
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts. That's it. Yeah. So the forced perspective sort of gag when you walk in, you could tell it's everything that they learned with Diagon Alley. Like, okay,
just
we're gonna do that times 10.
Yeah.
5, 10, easy.
Yeah, you sit there when you first come through that portal and you look down. You've got that arch, the architectural arch after the portal, and then past that you've just got the carnival's there in the middle of the square. Kind of square goes out and breaks into 5 fingers, but when you look down, you've got that carnival, and then behind it the staircase that leads up, and then some buildings behind it, and the scale of everything and the depth. They really got the perspective right.
Nailed it.
It's hard to do one specific thing. When you're that far away from it and nail it is one thing, but you keep walking closer and it doesn't diminish.
Yep.
And super blown away. That was that moment as you walk in and you keep looking, it just doesn't diminish.
And something we should say about all these, they did a really good job with the portals to each one of these lands, and when you walk up to it, there's the big grand entrance portal, and then if you look off to the sides, and that's where the exits are. Blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. You got to go through the main portals to each one of the lands, because they really plan those views. Effort was made at just to walk through the portal and have the reveal done in such a way that it's incredible. For sure.
And this one even more so, I think. Just the layers as you kind of go deeper and deeper into it. So you go down to that main square where the carnival is. You go to the left. I hear the restaurant here that's on the left side as you go in is really, really good. In theory, it's French cuisine, and if they do a good job, then it's inherently French and a lot of butter, and butter makes things taste good. So there you go. But you go and you take a left, and where that dead ends down at the end is Harry Potter and the battle at the Ministry. The ride was closed, but they were allowing us to walk through the queue line.
I would have waited in line to walk through that line.
Yeah.
The queue line. It is all of the money that they saved from not doing anything for Donkey Kong, they spent on this queue. This is the best queue that has ever queued in the history of queuing.
Unquestionably. You walk in, and it's kind of has that subway tunnel feel, like not where the tunnel where the trains go, but where you're walking.
Yeah. The initial, you kind of go down the hallway.
Station. Yeah. And you go and you come around that corner, and you see the grandeur of this 6 or 7 story tall.
Well, they have the flu portals.
Yeah.
So you line. I mean, that I think that's important. You line up. They have all the different flu portals, down that tunnel, and then the gag of being transported by flu with the green smoke, and you kind of walk in, and again, there's just the right zig to the thing that you walk through the green smoke, and it's
They didn't have green smoke when I went through. It was just like walk down that way.
Oh no, we got the full show with ours, so it's pretty cool. You walk the smoke, walk through the tunnel, come through the little zigzag, and
Yeah,
it reminded me of the first time, and you never had this experience.
no,
You never had this experience. My first time turning the corner and looking down Gringotts Bank,
in the banker hall.
in the banker hall, tellers on the side, the big chandeliers, the floor. The first time I turned that corner and looked down
And you
that
do
hall,
holy shit.
oh, they were able. They gave me that again, times 10.
Yeah,
Like they took everything they learned at Diagon Alley and just went
yeah,
up a notch.
Such good layering, and then the queue line where you kind of switch. Hey, we're going to go down this hallway and switch over here through that, and now you're back over here. And it's such a good use of the space to give depth and story and layers. Where you actually feel like like you're just going down a hall and back another, but it really feels like you're kind of going through sections of the ministry.
And there's that main room in the ministry. I haven't seen the movies 100 times in a row, so I'm like, I seriously need to go back and rewatch them. But I mean, it looks exactly how it does from the movie, but all of the depth that they included in that, I don't necessarily remember it in the movie. I really want to go back and see how. I mean, I'm assuming they nailed it, but
As someone who,
and they weren't just inventing volume.
no, as someone who that spends time on that spatial architectural theming, blah blah blah, as kind of a significant career arc. It's that good. They just nail it. The discerning eye. There's things that like the more time you kind of sit there, and you're like, oh, the tiles could have been better over here, or this could have been better. But
I'm going to go
when
ahead
you
and
look
say
at that kind of the periphery, looking at the space was breathtaking.
every single complaint you will have about just the. I'm not talking about the story, not talking about the ride, the ride vehicle, right? None of that. Just walking through that space, architecturally and thematically speaking, every complaint you have is nitpicky.
Yeah.
Any complaint anyone says on the internet, wow, it's too blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, you're nitpicking. It's glorious.
It is. And I'll be the first to admit that. I see things that arguably 99.99% of people are not going to see.
Same, but mine are somehow more nerdier than yours.
Yeah, you're like, that lighting fixture wasn't invented until a decade after.
How come the sprinkler head covers don't match the ceiling texture?
Yeah, I can answer that because escutcheon plates can't be altered. We were lucky that eventually you could get them in different colors than white or black.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway,
aware.
So that was breathtaking. I want to play in this space more. I mean, there's some good shops. It's kind of got over on the far side from where the ride is. It's got this kind of like alley down to. It's not a nocturne alley like in Wizardly World over at Universal, but it is open air, but it's got this nice little kind of alley in the back to other shops.
It's a very secluded space.
Yeah,
there's lots to explore in that world.
Wand magic and things of that sort.
Yeah, for as much gamification that exists in Nintendo, there is a lot to explore in the Ministry of Magic.
Yes. So, and just for time, moving on from here, and I will say, I'm curious if their park map has specifically over here between Super Nintendo and Dark Universe a significant plot of land that they could very easily add to. Over here, that looks like they're on the in between Ministry and I forgot the name of this coaster.
The blank spaces that appear on this map in between things are accurate.
Yeah. So you've got Stardust Racer and
There's a lot of nothing, and then Stardust Racer.
yeah. Now, I didn't ride this.
I was not able to when I was there. It was a media day thing, so they were filming all of the people
Yeah.
riding it. So I wasn't pretty enough to be on it.
Well, the fellas, all the Riley and his buddies, they all went on it, and I have not heard anybody do anything but rave and rave and rave. Rave.
I have heard it described as Velocicoaster turned up to 11. Also, I can't tell you the last time I rode a dueling coaster because I love a good dueling coaster.
Yeah.
Ever since Dragons stopped dueling at islands, I think dueling coasters have just been absent in my life.
Yeah.
But this one, again, like you said, really good. Velocicoaster, times 10. Brr. Well, not times 10. This is maybe just going from 10 to 11, but still, if you like Velocicoaster, you'll love this one. Fun Easter egg on this one, the ride vehicles. Little flux capacitor on the back of them.
Really?
Yeah. There you go. Tied it into today's car.
Ta-da.
It lights up and everything. Like it's not an accident.
Like on the very back end of the train.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, so we carry from that ride, and then we go to the final land, which is the Isle of Burke, the How to Train Your Dragon land, and
It sounded like you would just burp there. The Isle of
Burp. The Isle of Burp.
The Isle of Burke.
It's arguably one of the largest lands, if not the largest land. It's pretty substantial.
It's the one that uses exterior space to describe wide openness more than the other ones, which use exterior space to, like Ministry makes you feel closed in, and Nintendo is very stacked and layered, and
so
Dark Universe is, kind of, hiding, you feel like you're immersed in the thing. This is very much a wide open.
So all of that said, this land, it's got the show and then 4 rides, I think. But because in the movie, and I was a fan of the movies, in the movies, it kind of felt like the town was built on the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And I personally didn't feel like there was the height of mountainous. So they have this feature back here that is a mountain, but it seemed pretty small and more like a spire than the fact that you're on the side of a mountain.
Also, was it the second one or the third one? One of the later ones, they left that aisle and they went to a different.
I thought they were like
place.
running, but they went back. I thought so.
Maybe
either way. So and this is just my nitpicky. This is fucking beautiful, but as you come through the portal and you come up, you've got that boardwalky kind of thing, and you walk to the edge. There is a significant drop down to the water's edge, and I think what I would have liked to done is in the portal. Whereas like the Nintendo portal takes you up and then you're looking down into the world. I think had this entry statement been lower where you go down an escalator at the water's edge.
And you're looking up at it.
It would have made that initial feel taller. Like you came in off of a boat or at the water, at the water. Because, the city's next to the ocean. And I think that looking up as opposed to looking down there would have fixed that for me. I have not heard anybody else with that same comment.
No.
I'm the only one that has that comment, and that's a personal.
I feel very much. I'll take it the exact opposite of you. Coming in at that higher elevation makes you feel like you're on the side of the mountain, and you're up high, and you're kind of with the ledges of the cliffs, and you're above all the stuff.
I wanted to feel like as I was exploring the mountain, I was coming up the side of the mountain more as I was exploring deeper and deeper. And I just felt like certainly it ramped up, but not to where I expected. Either way, you have a few rides, Drag Racing and Rally, the Viking training camp. Dragon Racer Rally, Viking training camp.
I rode Dragon Racer Rally, which is a lot of fun. So this is the out of all of the realms, this is the one geared for the younger guests. So I know a member of my party brought their 7-year-old, and he basically lived here all day.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. But Hiccup's wing gliders, not a bad coaster at all.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
The set pieces were gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the set design, I mean, the overall layout, I had that one note. Overall, the buildings were beautiful. It had the live action, the characters that wandered around, did a great job of portraying the characters from the movie, the groups of kids.
They have a robot dragon.
And the robot dragon. They've got the drone.
Oh yeah, the drone dragon that flies around, which is cool as hell.
Overall, outside of the Ministry, this clearly was for me the most fun scenically. It had that stylized Viking-esque kind of vibe to it, but it still kind of had that animated vibe to it. Just a lot of really cool things going on.
Yeah, because Nintendo pulls off the video game vibe, with the colors, the contrast between the physical and the practical pieces that were made versus the real physical environment around you. And I'm trying to figure out a better way of saying that, but here's this building that's standing in front of me, and the way that it contrasts with the real sky of the Earth we live in, it just fucking perfect. It's like,
did a really good job.
Effort was made. The stage show in this one is a plussed version of the one from Universal in Beijing.
Untrainable, I think is the show's called.
Yeah. Which I have heard nothing but, I heard amazing things about the one in Beijing, and
it's
this
the award-winning for best live show, I think. So it's
that's a legit stage show, but this one's supposed to be better.
I'm looking forward to going back and being able to spend some time again. I would want to go back and kind of say, hey, today I'm going to spend this much time in this land and this much time in this land. And then
I'd like to go back and be able to take pictures personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that we need to schedule, for science, one of those drink around the epic universe. The epic drink around the universe. I did partake in, because I was there with the fellas, and they were like, let's go wait in this hour and a half line. And I'm like, cool, I'll be at that bar or this thing or whatever. So,
I didn't partake in, other than the, probably shouldn't have done it, black hamburger. I don't think I really indulged in anything.
We had barbecue for dinner, early dinner, late lunch, whatever, and it was pretty decent for barbecue at a theme park, and they sold...
Hold on. If you said it was pretty decent for theme park barbecue, that's like award-winning barbecue anywhere else.
Probably. But it wasn't
Universal.
bad.
When's Universal building a Kansas City park?
Yeah.
It's like Greg's Universe.
The beer there was good at the barbecue place. They had Crooked Can beer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was good.
I love the fact that Crooked Can has successfully weaseled its way into the themed entertainment world.
Right.
Crooked Can, the official beer of the Themed Entertainment Association.
Really, it is kind of become pretty dominant as the Orlando beer brand.
We should try to private label it for the TEA. Get them to make us something.
The
TEA brow or something.
What is a type of beer? Like there's a brand like Terrapin, but that's a brand, not a type of beer that starts with T.
It's a turtle, isn't it?
Turtle?
Isn't a terrapin a turtle?
Oh, in Yeah, but I'm talking. But they do like IPAs and various other things. That brand. But I'm trying to think, like, is there, like, what would be, like, the TEA, what kind of beer? Like,
if the TEA was a beer,
wouldn't be a lager.
Wouldn't be a lager.
It'd probably be an IPA.
Yeah, it would definitely be a beer with a
Tastes
beard.
like California, but made in Florida. Okay.
This beer had a creative director.
And moving on from that.
I'm going to hell for that bit.
Yeah. Anyway, wrapping that up, I do want to kind of update. I'm taking a break from PlayStation 5, and I've powered up my Xbox. The Xbox 360. No,
It's like a major life decision.
well, it's like Brian, our Game Center power up buddy.
Yeah.
Brian was giving me some hassle. I was like, listen, for $15 a month, you can do the Game Pass thing, and there are like dozens and dozens and dozens of games that we can play at any given time. So, I made a choice and picked Borderland 3.
Okay.
This game is the art style is freaking really cool. I really dig the art style, but then it's kind of funny because the bad guys are these kind of psycho cannibal blah 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 weirdos on this desolate planet, and you're kind of this adventure treasure hunter kind of person, as is most people there on that planet. They're what they call vault hunters, whatever, because there's treasures too, untold treasures, to be found in these vaults. But it's funny because when they just do a really good job of the comedy and the silliness of it, like, and it takes you off guard. Like, I shot one bad guy, and as he kind of slowly crumpled to the ground, he screams out, "My chili recipe dies with me." And it's like, I'll never be able to afford that down payment now. It's just as they die, they say the most ridiculous.
I love
regrets.
the banter from non-playable characters.
Yeah.
Those are...
It's just fantastic.
That's fucking great, dude.
So there's a lot of really kind of silly, fun things. Because the game is quite a few years old now, and DLC downloadable content there, it's all included in this game. And I'm playing this kind of Wild West one where you like, hey, we're looking for a bounty hunter to come and track down these blah blah blah. And it's funny because that whole thing, there is this narrator that kind of sounds a little bit like Matthew McConaughey. And it's you'll just be like traveling through the desert to this other town, and just randomly this voice goes, "Yep, that outworlder bounty hunter is about to cross paths with some more outlaws," and then you get attacked, and it's like, but it's almost got that Matthew McConaughey whistle, that yeah, but it's just this random thing in the background that's funny as hell. So
My chili recipe dies with me.
It's like, what the hell was that?
That is way funnier than it deserved to have been.
Yeah, and and they're all just funny. Like, it's almost like you want to kill these bad guys just to hear what they say.
Did you ever see the movie?
I did. You?
Does the game? I had friends that played the game fairly religiously. How does the game compare to the movie?
The movie kind of had a lot of the same feels. The quirky comic relief robot guy is in both. This like single wheel triangular wedge robot thing, and again, funny character, comic relief, quirky. And just some of them, but the overall vibe of the wasteland and traveling through, and like people just throwing bombs and things like that. It's kind of funny.
The vibe of the wasteland,
right? Yeah, it's pretty good. But the animation style, where when you're looking at things kind of further back, it's it's nice vistas. It's, animated style, whatever. But then you kind of get up close and it's got that exaggerated, heavy black line
Yeah.
kind of around things. And
That's kind of the most notable style that I associate with Borderlands.
yeah. And having honestly known fairly little about the game, when I started it, it was like, oh, it's open world kind of story driven thing. I'll probably like it. But
Well, I'm glad that you do like it.
yeah. Let's see if I can find some good images. Oh, that's just. Oh, this will kind of show it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you see all this black lining in here, and up in the rockwork, you see a lot of it. But it was fun. I'm enjoying it so far. There's a lot of playability to it. There's just so much going on, a lot of maps, and yeah. So there you go. Anyway, that's what we're doing.
Well, that's very cool. I'm glad that you're giving your PlayStation a rest.
Right. My daughter's taken over for that. She, as you saw earlier, she couldn't separate herself from Fortnite with a 20-minute warning
For food.
for dinner to sit down and have dinner with everybody. But she got there eventually. I swear I should have fed you her food.
That's fine.
Yeah, made you that salad. Oh, and I made bread. My
You did make
first
bread.
time I
Yes.
ever made scratch bread.
It was really good.
Yeah. I
You have your nitpicky complaints, but
well, it was a pretty dense bread. You said you like it. I like, more like really soft air, like
you're like one of those Wonder Bread kind of guys.
No. I like the artisan bread with the big pockets to hold the butter and all that stuff. But
I like
this
my
bread would be really good for a grilled cheese.
I like bread that's so like thick and dense it would sink if you threw it at a duck.
Yeah, no.
Well, the bread sank.
There was I let it proof and rise and everything and did all that stuff, and then you do the little stretch and fold. I think I overstretch and folded.
Proof
and then,
and rise, stretch and fold. Please, Greg, could you narrate the bread making process for those of us who are uninitiated?
It's pretty basic. It's like
what is stretch and fold?
Well,
mean?
you want the whole process. It's
Yeah.
it's like flour, and there's different types of flour depending. And this is the basic bread. This is not sourdough or any of that stuff. But it's flour, salt, yeast, and warm water.
Did you get your flour from a mill?
No,
Okay.
I got it from a bag of flour. Very technical. But you mix it all up, and it's super sticky. You cover it in wet towel and cool. Sit there for a few hours, and it did, and it doubled in size. And then generally, it's so sticky. And here's the hard part: you're supposed to flour the counter and do all this stuff to kind of help, like maybe put olive oil in your hands, or whatever. There's different tricks. Everybody's got a different trick, but you want to kind of stretch it and fold it over and do that on all four corners.
Like you're pulling taffy or kind of doing that.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not quite that aggressive, but yeah. But you're supposed to do it, and then once you kind of get it where you're sprinkling enough flour to get the outside a little more dried and to a nice uniform ball, like a smooth ball, as opposed to the sticky, it's freaking jagged everywhere, whatever. So, but you do that, and you're supposed to let it sit again for like another 30 minutes and rise. And that's where the yeast is creating all the bubbles.
Okay.
I didn't let that happen enough.
Fuck
'cause
you, yeast.
You do that on a piece of parchment paper. What this recipe is, you take a Dutch oven, a pot, not farting in somebody's face or whatever, but
I'm never going to not laugh at that.
yeah. And you just put the parchment, pick it up and put it in there and put the lid on it. But you preheat the Dutch oven so that it's do it, and then you preheat it, and then you put it in there, bake for like 25, 30 minutes, take the lid off, and then finish it so it gets golden and crispy on the front or on the top. And then you just take it out and let it cool. But that initial, like when you pick up that loaf and you kind of squeeze it, that nice crackle.
Yeah.
Had all that. It just needed a little bit more time to re-rise there in the middle. I may try it again tomorrow.
Making bread.
It's fun. It's one of those things where, like, hey, when society collapses and they're like, what skill do you have to be allowed into our small community of survivors?
I can keep the machines going.
You can. Well, I can do that. I can fix things. I can build things, and I can make bread.
So along the same lines, my idiot buddy Nick, he started raising corn. And so
as one does,
he planted 100 corn stalks.
Funny thing, he lives in an apartment.
He's got a place with a yard. So part of the reason why he wanted to grow his own corn is one, he needs food for after the collapse, but also he was really sick of cutting his grass, and he thought, here's a good opportunity for me to not mow a section of my yard. He planted 100 corn plants. Okay.
Yeah.
What square footage do you believe you would need to plant 100 stalks of corn? Plants of corn?
I would say that you would need 12 to 16 inches between each minimum.
Okay. I'm gonna let you math through all of this in your head.
I don't know, and then because you got to be able to get to the stuff in the middle, so maybe wider rows. But like in a row, I would maybe do 1.5 feet. I don't know, 150, 200 square feet.
Okay, so give me some dimensions, like 150. For the viewers at home,
like a 10 by I don't know, like 10 by 15,
10 by 15, 10 by 20, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Plotted thing. He did it like a 4 by 8. You could kill his entire yield with a piece of plywood. He's like, I wanted them to be really dense, so if a hurricane came, they would be more fortified together. They'd be all banded together as like a giant bunch of.
What the fuck?
I'm just. It's Nick.
This
Nick.
is
It's
the sound
Nick.
of me rubbing my face.
I love Nick. It's amazing. So the corn adventure is kind of the new saga in the Friends with Nick series. We went to go see.
He's outgrown the random hookup with weird women. When there's some weird stories about him and.
Oh the weird hookup one was the Grindr date, the unsolicited Grindr date. Do you ever hear that one?
Do we have time? We're over an hour. Do we have time for this?
Well, I can't let it hang at that.
Is this?
It's relatively quick.
Okay.
So
is it on brand? Like, are we safe telling this?
Oh
story?
yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
he's watching TV. He's watching TV, and doorbell rings. He's like, okay, and he goes and he just answers the door, and there's some really fit. My buddy Nick is, he's my age, middle aged, not great dad bod white dude.
Yeah.
And there is just this chiseled off of a magazine cover, like Puerto Rican model standing on his doorstep. Doesn't speak a word of English, and he's just like I'm here. He's like, that's great. What are you doing here? He's like, I'm here. It's me. I'm here. It's like, I don't know. What are you trying to tell me? And the guy holds up his phone, and it was like a successful Grindr match on his phone. He's like, no, that's not me, man. I'm not. This guy's like, oh, and he had to convince him, like, no, I didn't order you. Like, this isn't a thing.
Jesus.
Like, we didn't match. Oh, okay. So the guy eventually, I think you have the wrong address, and you're looking for the street over there. So the guy leaves. 5 minutes later, doorbell rings again. The guy's car is broken down in Nick's driveway.
Jeez. Yeah, that's Nick.
So Nick spent like the next hour trying to get this guy's car running in his driveway. For it's. He's like, I don't know, man. They just show up.
That is the nickiest story I've ever nicked.
You heard the one about, and I'll save this one for later because this one's more of an involved story. You heard the one of him picking up the waitress and getting sprayed by the skunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be another one. We just gotta. He does. He has no interest in being on the show, right?
Ever. Honestly, I was going to save them all for one day when he could join the show and he could tell his story. He has zero interest in ever doing it. I was going to take all of these. I've been keeping notes of all these Nickisms. I'm going to write a movie like, was it Superbad or whatever?
Yeah.
Like I could write that level of movie with just Nick stories, and it would be fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Anyway,
That's
but
funny.
I digress.
We have 844 downloads.
Yay.
Which is good for us. Anyway, hey, we should wrap up. Big thank you to our buddy Dave Martin.
DemoDavePro.com.
Don't forget, and we're at this point, consider it launched. Check out our website, rumandnerdy.com. Lots of new things. And remember, hover your cursor over everything. If it's clickable, you kind of want to look.
It's Easter Egg City. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Social medias, we're also at Rum and Nerdy, also A&D.
And email us, show@rumandnerdy.com. That's SHOW at rumandnerdy.com. Let us know what your thoughts on Epic Universe or what are you playing or anything else.
Is that it?
Generally. Unless you want to plug something.
Those are things. Visit Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida.
Universal Orlando Resort.
Your Universal Orlando Resort. That's right. That's just a world-class product. It's fantastic. It's the first new theme park the United States has gotten in a long time. China was getting a new theme park a year.
Yeah.
They were getting a couple new theme parks a year for the longest time. You know, the Middle East is making new theme parks.
Next Universal is in the UK, and the next Disney is in
Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's getting a Disney.
I'm waiting for Disney to announce. I mean, they're going to have to respond to what Universal just did at some point. Yeah. Is there a fifth gate coming, you think?
I'm not saying anything.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to get in on some of that. Like the Abu Dhabi announcement took everyone by surprise. They're like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
That came out of nowhere.
Where did this come from? But having worked on both Warner Brothers and SeaWorld over there,
makes sense
with the same developer.
It's Morale, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, good team over at Morale.
Nice. Well, we'll check them out soon. Hey, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Anyway, you will never understand it cause it happens too fast. And it feels so good, it's like walking on glass. It's so cool, so hip, it's alright. It's so groovy, it's out of sight. You can touch it, smell it, pieces are sweet. But it makes no difference cause it knocks you off your feet. You want it all, but you can't have it.
Are there any questions before we proceed?
I have one question, Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
I beg your pardon?
My name, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
But aren't you the grandson of the famous Dr. Victor Frankenstein, who went into graveyards, dug up freshly buried corpses, and transformed dead components into...
Yes! We all know what he did. But I'd rather be remembered for my own small contributions to science, and not because of my accidental relationship to a famous cuckoo.